as long as we make the show. We can be the best or we can be the worst, so we can be the best thing you ever heard. With the motor singing and the grandstands ringing, it's hard to put it all in words. But this is how we ride, this is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up higher in the groove. Don't give a damn about the cash we're spending. With the time we got, we choose to play it on the go, to stay out on the run. We all high, wild, and handsome. Ain't telling you what's right or wrong or what to choose. Hey, but this is how we do. This is how we do. Out on the dirt ovals we play, life in the bright lights with no shade. So letting her go, letting her rip, letting her fly, tossing her in sideways, living the life, letting her ride, outside winning to die. Cross her up on the cushion, crossing the line, cause some drama and some bullshit they didn't like. And if they don't like the move, then we're ready to fly. But this is how we ride, this is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up higher in the groove. Don't give a damn about the cash we're spending. With the time we got, we choose to play it on the go, to stay out on the run. We all high, wild, and handsome. Ain't telling you what's right or wrong or what to choose. Hey, but this is how we do. This is how we do. This is how we roll, this is how we do. It's not for everybody but the chosen few. And we pray, cause we know that they might not ever come back. But this is how we ride, this is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up higher in the groove. Don't give a damn about the cash we're spending. With the time we got, we choose to play it on the go, to stay out on the run. We all high, wild, and handsome. Ain't telling you what's right or wrong or what to choose. Hey, but this is how we do. This is how we do. We can ride high, we can ride low. We can ride anywhere we need to go. We can ride all night up to the morning, as long as we make the show. We can be the best or we can be the worst, so we can be the best thing you ever heard. With the motor singing and the grandstands ringing, it's hard to put it all in words. But this is how we ride, this is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up higher in the groove. Don't give a damn about the cash we're spending. With the time we got, we choose to play it on the go, to stay out on the run. We all high, wild, and handsome. Ain't telling you what's right or wrong or what to choose. Hey, but this is how we do. This is how we do. Out on the dirt ovals we play, life in the bright lights with
Well,
no shade.
hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. We are here today. Oh my. Oh my, ladies and gentlemen. We are here live in Florida. Look at us. Look at us. We got the unique mover shirt or hat on. We got the names added to the bottom of the screen. We got the Gold Cup Barbecue Crew matching. Hold on. Let me show you how much we're matching today. Look at this. These old wore out Daytona Hey Dudes. Look at that. Look at the match on that. Almost the same color yellow. They used to be yellow, but now they're closer to gold because they've been through the dirt. They've been through the dirt. trying to put that damn shoe back on. My left foot's been hurting. I kind of feel like I'm Carson Macedo in a way. I was limping around at the track last night. Probably going to be limping around a little bit more today. But we are at a secluded location currently. We are less than 2 miles from the racetrack. Looking at the map, we are a mile directly from the racetrack, but due to the roads and everything that goes around the lake and all this stuff and the gators and all that, we are a little bit further than that driving-wise, probably about a 10-minute drive, 5-minute drive, something like that. But we are over in the DeLand area, and we were at the track last night. We were trying to do some lives at the track, but the track, unfortunately, due to everybody being there, you know, the internet connection is kind of capable. It's just not really up there. We don't have the media credentials to get the Wi-Fi or anything like that to be hooked up onto at the track. So doing lives at the track is pretty much impossible. Doing little sub clips and things of the sort, you know, that's fine. But as far as going live at the track, it's pretty much impossible. I guess we could talk about the racing tonight before we get into this underdog betting situation, because it was very confusing for a lot of people. A lot of people were upset. By the way, down at the bottom of the screen, you see it rolling across special Florida trip contributors. We had went through everyone who had helped after the tire, spare tire situation, the pothole situation. We tried to add everybody's name that contributed down there at the bottom. If you would like to contribute, link is in the description to do so. Also, you can check out some of the supporters that were a part of the show. Some of the guys up here at the top right. You have seen a few more of these guys added into the fray as we have went along here. So, regardless, if you want to contribute, links are in the description. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, I believe, is in there now. We're having to pay 45 damn bucks to get into the races. And let's just start off there, because there's a lot of people who are pissed off at the racetrack. It has nothing to do with betting, has nothing to do with anything like that. Apparently, the new, you know, in the past, this is true. In the past, you bought you a reserve ticket, grandstand ticket. You would go up to a table that was laid out, and you basically just showed proof of ticket, signed a waiver, and you got a pit pass. And fans could go into the pits and interact and see the cars and drivers. That's no longer happening. This year, there is a $5 gap between general admission and the pit pass price. So you do have to pay that additional $5 to get into the pitting area. I mean, I don't know how I feel about $50 being gone for a pit pass, but for some who are bringing a family, you know, used to be you just have 5 people, $45 a piece, and then you get your pit pass upgrade for free. Now it's $5 on top of that, you know. So some people there's some fans that are definitely upset at that situation. We did get to talk to some drivers last night. One in particular that I found very interesting, had a very long, good conversation with Jacob Allen. He was still confused. He started out the conversation by saying, "So was it a boogie board on the water or a kangaroo?" And of course, he's referring to my kangaroo attack of Carson Macedo joke when Carson Macedo was injured in Australia. But I guess the news has finally came out somewhat public that it was a water skiing style incident. It was not a kangaroo attack. The issues, though, with Rico, I don't even want to talk about. Fortunately, it doesn't look as good as most people are thinking. Reasonings for why things may be going one way or another with Rico are going to be left to them to disclose that information. The kangaroo, though, it was just too damn funny. Too damn funny. The kangaroo getting the revenge on all the cars that he trashed last year at the end of the year. That was just too damn funny of a joke. Now, something that has happened, we'll get, you know, last night, obviously, Carson Macedo performed very well. He took home the win. David Macedo, Larson in third, which I think Larson's going to get a little bit better tonight. I'm actually kind of scared about how good Kyle was last night. Traditionally not very good at Volusia. I'm not sure if he would have picked up third if Kofoid didn't make a mistake. Of course, Kofoid running up front all night, great in the dash redraw, and that redraw played a big factor in how people are finishing here in Volusia. Kofoid running up front, top 3 all night, and then jumped the cushion in 3 and 4, came across the track, got into Logan, and flipped down the front straight away. Very bad, and a very bad start to the year for Kofoid because, you know, this point system with the World of Outlaws, I know Jeremy Elliott and some other people have pointed this out, it's very close as far as, like, how much points you can make up or lose in a given night. So, I mean, when you lose a lot of points, it is extremely hard to make those up. Like, almost impossible to make those points up throughout the year when you start bad. That's kind of, you know, last year Macedo started out very slowly. 2 things I noticed throughout the night, though, with Macedo and Kofoid in particular, and Macedo said it in the Jeremy Elliott interview, you know, his motor was off in qualifying. I could hear it going through the corner. Most people could hear it going through the corner. He was only a 10th off, qualified decently well, or not even a 10th off, I don't think. And in the main event, Kofoid's car was noticeably making some different noises and not running correctly. He somewhat contributed his mistake to that engine running badly, which is possible. It is very possible that there's some truth to that situation. But, you know, Macedo winning, usually the 41 struggles out of the gate. Just to come out this strong, he's definitely showing himself as a championship contender this year. I still think Kofoid is my dark horse or is my pick. Honestly, it was my pick for the championship. After last night, I'm not necessarily so sure. Regardless, Kofoid running up front, that was great, all these things. Honestly, though, this is where things turned for the worst. You know, I'm having to pay my entry fees and all that, and I was just hoping that this damn betting thing, you know, it's legal here in Texas or in Florida where we're at, and I was like, maybe I could get my money back, and instead of getting these media credentials, I could just pay to get in, and I'll make up for the entry fees and all that and the gas maybe a little bit and win my damn pass back with the racing happening on the track. So let's go into the details with this situation on Underdog, which is the predominant betting platform for the World of Outlaws right now. At this race tonight, there was a lot of situations that occurred last night with this gambling situation where it is actually legal. So when you go to UNDERDOG.com, which, by the way, we have a deposit match special. So there's a link in the description. It's the first one on this video. If you click it and you sign up for Underdog, you'll get your deposited match. So if you deposit $50, you'll get $50. And if the link doesn't work, when you get the Underdog app, just put in DIRTTRACKCHAZ as a reference, and you'll get that deposit match. So regardless, we had a deposit, like 50% deposit promotion through using the Outlaws. Obviously, it wasn't as good. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. But regardless, this is where you can actually bet. I kind of highlighted them in the graphic. And there's 2 types of picking, but I had a person from Texas send me what they could pick, and it's honestly the same. So you see the 3 options here: Pick'em, Champions, and Drafts. Now, the Pick'ems is this over-under deal. The Champion, I guess Pick'ems is over-under. See, I'm in Florida, so it's highlighted here where it's legal. Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, Kansas, Colorado, Wyoming, and Arizona is where the Champion style is. And then the Pick'em style, Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Utah, California, Oregon, Georgia, South Carolina, Kentucky, Indiana, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, New York, Vermont, and it looks like Rhode Island is highlighted, as well as Alaska. But I had a person, and hold on, let me just back it up. I'm trying to explain too fast. So in the Florida region, this is where you can, obviously, if you're highlighted in any one of these, you can bet. But I don't truly understand the pick'em situation, because when I go to make a bet here in Florida, it is underneath the Champions bracket, but it is underneath this better or worse pick scenario. So I'm not sure the difference between the Champions and the pick'em, because obviously the Champions format of betting is not highlighted in Texas. But I literally had somebody Snapchat me from Texas and show me a picture of what he's able to bet on in Texas, and it's pretty much the same better or worse scenario. So I'm going to assume if you're highlighted in any of these these highlighted states or these highlighted states, the way I'm about to explain to you on what's going on with the situation with the better or worse and all these things that have happened in this betting scenario that's kind of had a little bit of a rut in it, I will say. It's going to apply to if you're in any one of these regions because it seems like the champion style and the pick'em style is technically the same aspect, the same format with this better or worse scenario. So, does anybody in the chat have any questions for this better or worse scenario? It doesn't look like it. But anyway, here was the scenario that happened last night with the opener at the World of Outlaws in picking this situation. There was a big problem with the better or worse terminology as well as the high and low and the TJ Stutts odds. So TJ Stutts was ranked at a 9.5. So let me see if I can get this up here. I have it on the page. TJ Stutts was ranked at a 9.5 on the higher or lower scale here. I believe we shared it last night. Let me just hold on just a second. Yeah, right here. This is the higher or lower. So this was my picks last night. So I picked TJ Stutts to be lower than 9.5. Kyle Larson to be lower than 1.5. This was my big bet that was going to make a decent amount of money. And see, there's the promo code right there. Get your first deposit matched up to $1,000 in bonus cash, bonus bets, basically, when using the code DIRTTRACKCHAZ or the link in the description. Which is better than the referral one from NXT Bets. Regardless, this higher or lower deal, this is how I picked it. So TJ Stutts under 9.5, which means, in my opinion, or below 9.5, because it said, even though this terminology you see on the screen says higher or lower, when you went to place the bets on these competitors, it literally said better or worse. So it didn't say higher or lower when you go into your app. It actually shows up like this. And this is today's actual picks, and I'm going to give you what I have for a pick here today. So it comes up in the app like this, better or worse. And that translated yesterday into higher or lower. So I said TJ Stutts, for instance, would do worse than 9.5 in the finishing position. I said, which is 9, technically. So 10th on back, that's a winning bet. Keep that in mind. Kyle Larson, I said he would do worse. I pushed worse with Kyle Larson at a 1.5, which means I didn't think he would win. Michael Buddy Kofoid, I said he would do better than 5.5, which is higher. Now, the issue that happened yesterday, 2 situations occurred yesterday. One was with TJ Stutts. When everybody saw this, everyone in the dirt track racing world automatically assumed that TJ Stutts would not finish 9th or better. I mean, there's a possibility, but this isn't Williams Grove, guys. So a lot of people went in there and bet that TJ Stutts would do worse than 9.5. He wouldn't do better than 9.5. He would do worse. TJ Stutts did not qualify for the main event. So, for instance, in this bet right here, which was different, I'll explain that here in just a second. TJ Stutts' result last night, since he did not qualify for the main event, was voided by Underdog because they didn't count it as he finished 35th or whatever, was 10th in a B main. They counted it as he didn't compete on the track. So they voided him in the bet slips of 2 or more. If you just had 2 bets, say TJ Stutts and Larson, these 2 bets, just those 2, because you have to have 2 or more, it would have canceled the bets altogether because you can't just bet on one single pick. You have to bet more than 2 or more. So that was the first issue. TJ Stutts did not make the main, and it voided his pick. So in this situation, these 3 picks that I thought I made, we're going to get into that. It would have been around a $220 win for what I placed the bet on here. But with Kyle Larson not winning, Kofoid finishing in the top 5, the bet would have went down to like $90 because TJ Stutts added element into the bet was removed because he did not make the main event. Now, additionally, here is a problem that happened yesterday that has been altered today. I've been on the phone with this damn underdog for 2 damn hours, and I have to say, get your deposit match, because how they treated me was especially great and grand through this whole entire situation. The customer service was good, and I'll explain it here in more detail in just a second. Dirt Track Chaz, get your first $1,000 matched on Underdog. Higher or lower was a issue. High-low terms. So, as I explained, this is how it shows up in your app when you go to place a bet. Better or worse? So, Donnie Shots, 6.5. You have 2 options. Better than that or worse than that. So, I picked, for instance, yesterday, Kyle Larson to do worse. I selected worse than 1.5. That translated to lower yesterday. So what I'm saying here is that the terminology yesterday was reverse to what we would particularly think what better or worse means. So yesterday, for instance, when I clicked worse, Kyle Larson would finish worse than 1.5. It transitioned to lower. And so when he finished third, that bet of him being worse, lower, was wrong. Which makes no sense, right? I said he would do worse than 1.5. How is that? That's not saying he would do better, but due to racing and this whole deal being kind of new, worse/lower means a lower number. Worse, which it's not right? That makes no sense. That's not doing worse. That's doing better than 1.5. But yesterday's bets were flopped like this. So that bet I made of Kofoid being better than 5.5, or better, I voted better, meant higher. And since he wrecked, that bet was actually correct, even though that was him doing worse. This is how it registered yesterday in this opening betting scenario on Underdog for dirt track racing. Better meant higher, worse meant lower, and the number that you finished, the lower you were, the better you finished. So the better and the lower and the worse terminology was mixed. So today, I went into the customer service to try to figure all this out, and these numbers are still. This is my bet for today. So obviously, Carson Macedo doing better than 3.5. Brad Sweet doing better than 4.5, and Donnie Shots doing worse than 5.5. I went in here and placed these bets thinking that the terminology was the same as yesterday. Okay, I fucked up. Worse means lower, like a lower number. So if it says it's 1 or it's 2.5. I think Kyle Larson is 2.5 today. If I pick he's going to do worse, then that means lower. That means he's going to finish higher, and what I just explained. I went and placed these, and I noticed that the lettering in the bet now had flipped to higher and lower versus so it was back to how it should have been. It was back to better meant that he would do first, or worse meant that he would do second. So they and through discussing with customer service now, due to this situation I just described with the better and worse and the lower and higher, so many fans went and complained, and some got their bets back. I did get my bets back, for the record, yesterday. Customer service did give me my bets back, and the bets that I placed today, which are going to go final in about an hour, they canceled and refunded my bets back because I had no idea that the terminology had switched, but the terminology now going forward with the World of Outlaws and betting, better or worse, means what it actually means. 3.5 positions, or 3.5 finishing position. If you put better, that means you believe Carson Macedo is going to finish third, second, or first. If you pick worse, that means you think Carson Macedo is going to finish fourth on back. So, but when you go to share it, like we have here, once again, code down there at the bottom, first deposit match up to 1,000. That's a hell of a deal. Dirt Track Chaz, or link in the description. It's the first link here in the description. If you click better or worse, for instance, with here on the screen, I said Carson Macedo would do better than 3.5, which I think he will finish third, second, or first tonight. It has the arrow still pointing down, as in a lower fashion, but that is still technically correct, because 3.5, what's down below that? 3, 2.5, 2, 1.5, 1, half, 0. So even though when y'all go to share it, it's different. It is corrected now. But this was the blunder with the higher or lower, the worse or better, because technically, like I said, I lost this bet yesterday. For one, TJ Stutts was voided. He didn't make the main event. So it would have been down to a 2-pick deal. I lost both because I said Larson would do worse, but it translated to lower. And I actually won here on this bet with the Michael Buddy Kofoy, because I said I put better, but in their translation that meant higher. But that is no longer the effect. So they have fixed it. So now when you go in here to the app and you go to bet, and you got Brad Sweet here at 4.5, that's 4.5 positions, finishing position. If you click better, that means you think he will finish fourth, third, second, first. If you click worse, that'll be fifth on back. So that's how this is working today. I think one of the sleeper picks right here is Sheldon. Sheldon is at 9.5. I thought they showed speed all night last night. Qualifying is where they have issues. Qualifying is where they have issues. But it seems like Underdog, once again, they gave me my bets back from yesterday. The one bet that was voided, that went voided, was refunded as well. The bets I placed to begin the day, based on yesterday's better or worse terminology, they canceled and gave me that money back. So they did a very good job at the customer service element, and they're understanding this is new to the sport. And I'm glad that they fixed the better or worse, because that's how we would fixate our ideas on what better or worse is in the racing world. Yesterday, when I put Kyle Larson would do worse than a 1.5, I didn't know that would be lower than a 1.5. I didn't know that would be a 1.0 or winning the race. It was Larson versus the field in betting yesterday. I think the only bet that is close to that today is David Gravel, I believe. Let me see if I can log into the Underdog betting, actually. We don't want to show y'all my password now, do we? Hold on. Let's go to the chat. Do y'all have anything to say about this situation? Because this is what's actually happening. Yeah, damn rooster in the background. Yes. This is how this whole shenanigan deal is actually working. Let me see if I can get in here and show y'all some things about the actual odds that are happening today. Well, it's looking like it can't locate. I ain't got it set up on the I ain't got it set up currently on my computer, my laptop. But this is the bet I have for today. Once again, you can go and get your deposit match on Underdog. Use the code DIRTTRACKCHAZ up to $1,000. So that means if you deposit $100, you deposit $50, you'll get $50 free in bonus cash, which is basically money you can bet on. And then if you win your bet with the bonus cash, then you can withdraw that money. But there's my bets for today. I think Donnie Schatz is going to finish worse than 5. I love you, Donnie. I got other bets as well. I got more than one. I think that Carson Macedo is going to finish within the top 3. I think Brad Sweet's going to finish within the top 4. That is my 3-pick bet that I think is a very good lock-in. Let me see if I can get my Underdog app up right now. They've moved the odds a little bit. Let me see here. They have moved the odds a little bit. This is actually yesterday's. Hold on. Let me get one up here that's a little different. They have moved the odds on Donnie Schatz. He is actually at a 6.5. Logan Schuchart is at a 6.5. Sheldon is still at a 9.5, but they have moved Donnie's odds to 6.5. Larson is at a 2.5. Kyle Larson is at a 2.5. Buddy Kofoid's at a 4.5. David Gravel is at a 2.5 position. So Larson and Gravel are picked right now by the app to be within the top 2 positions. I did a 3-pick worse. I did Larson, Kofoid, and Gravel worse. I know it's hard to pick against Kofoid, but I did pick for Kofoid in other bets. So it's going to be interesting. You know, who knows with Kofoid? Was that their primary car? Is the primary car destroyed? Did they have to put another car together? I don't think that for the rest of the week Kofoid will suck, but it may take a night for him to get a new car or the reconstructed car back up to speed. I'm not sure. I got to see it first before I put money on it. Carson Macedo better than 3.5. Brad Sweet better than 4.5. Donnie Schatz better than 6.5. Top 5 for all 3 of those. So that's 3 out of the 5 top 5. That's a bet that I got on there. Larson better than 2.5. I think Larson is going to be very strong tonight. So finishing in the top 2 positions, possible. Brad Sweet better than 4.5. Logan Schuchart better than 6.5. He was very, very strong last night. So that's a couple of the bets they got on there. Right now, let's see if we can show you all the lines. Donnie at 6.5, better or worse. Brad Sweet at 4.5. Sheldon at 9.5. That's the question mark. Carson Macedo 3.5. Larson 2.5. Logan Schuchart 6.5. Kofoid 4.5, and David Gravel 2.5. I'm not so sure on that David Gravel one. I am not so sure. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's kind of the situation that is happening here. Somebody said, I put $2 million in Brennan Crouch, you're in trouble. Can you bet on Kyle's watch or banners on the track? I don't think so. That would be good if you could. You better hope he don't make the main. I mean, I bet for and against Kyle in my bets. If drivers miss the A, will they still be void? Yes. Well, now I think it's very important to pick, and I think they figured that out, World of Outlaw drivers or World of Outlaw caliber drivers. You know, all these guys except Larson and Sweet have a provisional. So they're guaranteed to be in the main. You could pretty much guesstimate that Larson and Sweet will be in the main. If the driver does not make the main or compete in the main event, it is voided. That seems to be the precedent that is being set right now with Underdog. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, once again, link in the description. Up to $1,000 deposit match. You deposit 50, you get 50 with the code DIRTTRACKCHAZ, or you can follow the link in the description to get the app. Be sure to keep up with us this week. We're going to try to have this as somewhat of a mainstay of a background and everything. We're thinking about going to Lucas Oil for Friday night at Ocala, and then back here for Saturday night with the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series, and then, of course, next week, late models every single day, all week long. We're going to be trying to put together some shorts, some TikToks at Long Live the Chaz on TikTok and Facebook, as well as Instagram. And, of course, you're already here on our YouTube channel. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for the contributors at the bottom of the screen. Thanks for the logos at the top right. Once again, Underdog betting, first 1,000 deposited, matched. Link in the description. DIRTTRACKCHAZ is the code. We are going to the racetrack. We got to get there in a hurry. It's 4:30 now. Hot laps are coming up. Once again, like the video, share the video, comment below, and as always, be sure to subscribe. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you next time.
Ready to rip, ready to reach. Place my bets, hey, you never know when playing on hopes what you could achieve. Making the goal, peace with the soul, don't matter the bottle with what you believe. Cause if I'm taking it all in the calling, it's harder with the